Hey there, this is Christine from She Creates, and today I'm going to show you how to add a page to your existing template. Currently, we are looking at the speaker's template, which is called Layla. And if you purchase this template or you're using this template, you will see that there are just a limited number of pages available to you that are already designed. However, that does not mean that you can't add pages and design them on your own. So what I want to do is just start from scratch and add a page to this existing template. So if you were in need of a landing page or a sales page or just any page that didn't come as a part of the template package, you can feel free to add a page and design it to fit your needs. So let's get started. Let me just show you how to do this. Essentially, you're just going to go right over here to this plus sign in the top left where it says New Tab. Just click that button. It's going to pop up with some options. These are your current pages, and as you can see here, you can move these in the menu. You can do all sorts of things. If you highlight over it, there are settings. You can duplicate the page. You can work in HTML. You can work on the SEO of that page, or you could delete the page. So our two options up here, new page or a new link, and I want to add a new page. So I'm just going to click new page. It's going to bring me to a blank page, but what I want to do first is show you how to name that page. So you'll see up in our tabs, once we open any page in your template, they will show up here. And this one is currently showing as page 1. We want to change that. So if you go back up to pages, and you find the item named page 1, and if you hover over it, you'll notice that there's a little cog wheel, and that's the page settings. So go ahead and click that. And you have a few options to include page setup and SEO. There's lots of SEO options for you to get started, but we're just going to worry about the page setup. So let's create a page title. I am going to call this just Getting Started. And then I'm going to make sure that that permanently reflects that page title. So I am going to type it again with dash in between the words. So it's getting started. It's getting dash started. And then we have a page image for social sharing. So if you wanted to include an image that when you share this particular page on Facebook, let's say, that your designated image will show up in that descriptor. So you can feel free to add that. Down here it says display page and menu. Now if you'll notice up here, you'll see that page 1 has shown up in the main menu. If you don't want it to, all you would do is simply uncheck that and hit OK, and it would disappear. We are going to leave that in there for the sake of this demonstration. And if you had additional menus that you created, if you clicked on this, you could actually add that particular page to any menu, let's say a footer menu. In this example, we only have a top menu, so that's why that's showing up there. And then we want to add the actual name of the page. So that could be different than your page title, but in this case, it's not going to be, so I am just going to add Getting Started. And then hit OK. And you'll notice that it is showing up in our list of pages, Getting Started, as well as it's up in the menu. So to begin, we have lots of elements over here on the left side. So hopefully you've familiarized yourself with some of these. But we have shapes, images, text, menus, media, buttons, forms, social, blog, store, HTML, plugins, and widgets. So I'm just going to open just a few of these that I use all the time, and those are the shapes, the images, and the text. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is create a large header section. So I am just going to put section here, and then I am going to just click on that element and drag it to the position that I want. If you'll notice that there's a green line in the center of your page, and that's just showing that the element that you're currently moving is centered on the page. And I'll show you smaller elements where this is important. So I'm just going to move it to about there. And what I'd like to do is add an image. But before I do that, let me see. Actually, no, I am going to add an image to this element, this main element right here. And to do that, I'm going to go over to my design properties menu. So the first one is layers. The second one is your design. And the third one are the properties of that particular element. So let's go into design. I would like to fill this section with an image. So I'm just going to drop this down, fill, and I'm going to open up all these so that you can see lots of design options. I'm going to see that right now it's a color and it's a gray color. And I'm not sure that I care about that right now. Really what I want to do is add a background image. So I am going to come right here and click on this, and it's going to open up my documents. And I'm just going to search. I've got a few images here in my demo folder, and I am just going to pull up this image here. And you can see that it's cut off a little bit. The image is a little bit bigger than the actual container that it is. That's no problem. All you do is hover over either end, either the top or the bottom, until you see a little arrow, and then you just pull. You can pull all the way down, and you can see my image is getting bigger. So that's perfect. I need to create a little more space, so I'm just going to drag this entire page, and you see what I've done? I've created lots of white space. So this little arrow here is just showing that I'm just creating lots of white space, and what I'm going to do is drag this image to the top where I want it. That way I have some white space to work with. Another option to create this is just to simply click the image, and you can see it's just a small image, but I can double click that and add the same header image that we just added and see what that looks like. Okay, see, it's not contained within the container. It's something that you can move from right to left and up and down. A container, it's contained, so you can basically only move it up and down. So in this case, you can see that there's a lot more flexibility when you choose that image versus placing a section and then adding a background to that section. So to delete an element, let's say we actually messed up and chose the wrong one, all you do is click on it so that it's highlighted. You can see this image is highlighted, and just hit the delete button. It'll disappear for you. Additionally, if you make a mistake and you accidentally delete something that you didn't mean to, all you have to do is come up to your top here and you see this undo or redo. You also have the revision history, which if you click on that will pull up all of your essentially backups of your site. So every time you hit the publish button, which is right over here, it will show you a record of that. So you could, ideally, you could go back a week or 2 weeks or however long to a previous version of your website if you wanted to. For the purpose of this, I want to return that image to our website. So I'm just going to hit undo. And there you go. It reappears. Okay. And then you can hit redo and it will disappear. This little button right here is just showing you that your site is being automatically saved. So there's no need to update it or save it. There is no such button. It automatically does it for you. The only difference here is that the publish button makes it live on your site. So this, you can work on your site and save it before it actually goes public. And if you want those changes and those additions that you've made to go public on your site, you just hit publish, and that's all you do. So let's get back to the design. And so we've created this container with an image, and let's just create some text overlay of this image. So let me just pull in here a title, and you can see all I've done is just click this little button here and it automatically shows up. Now, ideally, you would have your fonts preset and you would have all of these text options already done. Right now, let's just try. We've got some already pre-done, and these are, if you see how I'm scrolling over this, it's going to change the size, the font weight, and sometimes the actual font. These are all configured. So, and you can do that just right here. You can add a new style. You can save a style. So I'll let you play around with that. But let's just go up to page title. And because I'm working in this for the first time, I'm sort of making this up as I go. These are not actually the font sizes that I would typically choose. So I'm going to go over to your paragraph properties section and go ahead and make those changes. So first things first, I need a light color. So I am going to click from my my brand colors right here. I'm going to choose a white and I'm going to hit OK. And you can see that my font has now changed colors. I also feel like this is too small, so I'm going to go ahead right here and change the size and the spacing. So I think this is going to require a very large size, so I'm going to say 62 point. And you can see what's happening here. There's not enough. I've increased the size of the font, but now I need to increase the size of the space in between the lines, in between that content. So we just need to go over here to your line spacer and you want to increase that as well. So I am going to put 82 and there's a good distance between these two lines. Now let's say I wanted this all on one line. I would just simply stretch this out and there you go. And click move. You can move it anywhere you want, but I am going to leave it there. And I'm just going to change the text to say, let's see, watch, let's do it all caps. Oops. Watch me sing live. All right. So that's what I wanted to say. And I think I want to add a button here. I just want to add something, a call to action, something that they can do. And so we're going to go over to our left side of the panel where all of your elements are. And you can see that buttons is a heading and there are lots of sub elements to that heading. So lots of different choices for you. I am going to just pick one here really quickly. Let's do the radius button. So there's the radius button out of the box. That's what it's going to look like, that color. But you can always change these things. But I am going to just come over here into the properties and change the text to, let's see. I'm going to say subscribe. Let's say it's a YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's a really long call to action button, but that's okay. All we have to do is stretch out that button so that it makes sense. You can actually make it fatter. So there you go. That's a huge button, huge call to action. And now I want to change the color. So let's do the background color. You know what? Let's play off her yellow. So because I don't have hex codes just off the top of my head, I am just going to drag this over and around to the yellow and kind of play around till I think we've got something there that's pretty bright. Let's try that. Perfect. And you can change the background transition color. You can change the transition border color. And then important right down here is you can link it to a page, another link. So in this case, I would want to link it to my YouTube channel link or an anchor, which is another place on your page. So obviously, let's just try the home page. We'll just link that. So this is my starting sales page, or this is my landing page. Now let's take a look at the design by previewing it before we actually publish it. So let's hit this button up here, preview. It's going to take me to the site, how it would look. And I'm just going to hit this button here. As you can see, I didn't change that hover color. And so you can click this and it should take you to the home page, but it might not because it's not published. And it does not. Okay, so let me just make sure it was. Yes, it was. So basically, you do need to publish for that preview to take effect, but that's okay. You get the idea of how that's going to work. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit and let's add some text, or let's add some subheadings. Let's go over here and add some paragraphs. So I am going to choose, let's say, 3 paragraph elements. That I am just going to put right here. And you can see that I'm changing the width of these, and you can see my guides are in place here. You can see that purple line that's showing me that I am perfectly aligned. And I just want one more paragraph, and I'm just going to go right here and adjust the size really quick to match. And I'm going to hover until I see that. Yep. Oop, I need to do this a little bit more. There we go. All right. Perfect. So these are not centered. So let me show you how you center. You are going to just come up here and have automatic layout tool. This is pretty awesome. So you can actually create some horizontal padding and vertical padding, but I'm just going to leave it at 5 point. And I'm going to just click on the element that I want centered and hit reorder layout. And there, you saw it automatically move it directly in the center of the page. And from there, I can adjust my left and right elements. And I think that that looks pretty good. So let's add just a quick heading to each one of these little subparagraphs. And yeah, there we go. All right. And one more. Okay, there we go. I think, yep, that is straight. Okay, so let's see, what else can I show you in this video? We have lots to show you. The best thing to do is just to play around, but let me add one other element so that you can see how this works. Let's add some media. And this is a lot of fun because there are lots of options. You can do video, you can do scrolling grids, image rotator, hover effects, a logo rotator, just a lot of things. So definitely play around with all of the media elements. But let's go ahead and just place, let's place a image rotator right here and see what that looks like. Isn't that awesome? That is perfect. It automatically works. The only thing that you need to do is edit the photos. So you just come over here to your properties of the image rotator and you'll see a button says manage. Now, keep in mind you can change everything about this to include the width, the height, the margin in between the photos, the cycle duration. You can speed it up, you can slow it down. But basically, I just want to show you to manage the photos that are showing up. All you do is click on a square and then hit replace, and it's going to pull your options down, and you can go ahead and add any image that you want. Now, you also have the ability to add titles and descriptions, but I actually don't want any of that, so I'm going to delete that. And let me replace, let's see what other images I have here that I can just pop in there. That one might be too big, so let me see. It's still uploading. Okay, it did work. Great. And I am going to delete the title and the description as well, and I'm going to hit save. What happens is you're going to see your recently added photos, and of course I didn't add all of them, but you can see that it's scrolling through. And I think it looks beautiful. I mean, let's take a look at the preview one time. This is, you know, it's taken me just a couple of minutes really to do this, and you can already see how beautiful this is. So you have the ability to do so much. You have the template, you have your starting point, but there's so much more you can add to this, and especially as your website and your business grows. For opt-ins and sales offers, you can create new pages, you can create new services. If you create a course online, you know, adding these pages it's so easy to do, and it's a lot of fun because you have complete design control over everything. So enjoy this, enjoy working on your site, and we will be back soon to share more how-to videos.